My precious child, listen carefully. This message found you at this exact moment, and that is not a coincidence. I brought it to you. I have been waiting for a quiet window when your heart was open enough to hear me. And this is that window. Do not scroll past this. Stay here with me for a little while. Set down whatever you were carrying when you pressed play and just breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let the noise inside your mind get softer. Let the rushing slow down for just a few minutes. You do not have to do anything right now except receive what I am about to say, because I have something important to tell you, and I want you to hear every single word. You have been going through something that has made it difficult to trust, hard to open up, hard to reach your hand out toward anyone, even me. And I understand that more than you realize. But I want you to know something. I have been here the entire time, standing with my hand extended, patient, steady, not going anywhere, not growing tired of waiting, not checking my watch, not measuring how long it is taking you to come back. Just here, just present, just holding my hand out toward you with the same quiet certainty I have held it out from the very beginning. I am not angry at you for pulling back. I am not disappointed in the way you have been protecting yourself. I simply want you to know that I am still here, that I am waiting, that my hand has not moved and will not move, and that whenever you are ready, even if ready means shaking and uncertain and half convinced this is a mistake, I will be here. My beloved child, this is me, Jesus, speaking directly into your heart, not through a ceremony, not through a distant idea of who I am, some figure from a long time ago in a faraway place that has nothing to do with your real life right now. But right here, in this moment, in this quiet space between your heartbeat and mine. Close your eyes for just a moment, if you can. Feel the stillness that is already forming around you. That is not the absence of sound. That is my presence settling over you like a warmth you did not ask for, but needed more than you knew. I speak to you today not from judgment, not from a list of things you have done wrong, or a record of every time you walked away. I speak to you as the one who loved you before you were born, who has watched every chapter of your story unfold from the very first page, and who is nowhere near finished with you yet, not even close. The way I see you right now is not the way you see yourself. You tend to see your failures first, your gaps, the ways you have fallen short of who you imagined you would be by now. I see something different entirely. I see someone I chose, someone I made with intention and care, someone whose story still has chapters coming that will change the way they understand everything that came before. I see you, my child. All of you. And I am still here. Take one slow breath. Let yourself land. Because what I have to say to you today matters, and I want you fully present to receive it. I have seen everything, my precious child. All of it. Every moment you tucked your pain away so the world could not find it. Every time you smiled at someone while your insides were quietly coming apart. Every prayer you breathed out in the dark, wondering if it was rising anywhere at all. Wondering if the ceiling was the only thing listening. I heard every single one of those prayers. Not one of them dissolved into nothing. Not one of them bounced off the sky and fell back unanswered. Each one reached me. Each one mattered. I have seen the nights you lay awake replaying things you wish had gone differently. The conversations you rehearsed in your head long after they were over. Wondering if you said the wrong thing. Wondering if you could have held it together better. Wondering what it would have taken for things to turn out the way you hoped. I have seen the relationships that left wounds that have not yet finished healing. The people who were supposed to stay and did not. The ones you gave your trust to and then watched leave with pieces of you that you have not entirely gotten back. The disappointments that came one after another until you built something out of them, almost without meaning to. A wall, a private habit of keeping people at a careful distance, a quiet rule you made for yourself that it is safer not to need anyone too much, because needing people and being let down is a specific kind of pain that you have learned you want to avoid. I watched that happen. I did not watch it from a distance with my arms crossed. I watched it from right beside you, heartbroken in a way that I want you to understand. Not heartbroken because you did something wrong. Heartbroken because I know how much you want to be close to people. How much you were made for connection and love and belonging. And I watched the hurt take that openness and slowly, carefully, teach you to close up. I know the trust you struggle to give because I saw the moments that made it hard to give. I was there when the person you counted on let you down. I was there when you reached out and felt nothing reach back. I was there when something you believed was a safe place turned out not to be. And you quietly rearranged your heart to make sure that could not happen the same way again. I do not blame you for the caution you carry now. I do not look at the walls you have built and see a flaw in your character. I look at them and I see a person who got hurt, who cared deeply enough to be vulnerable and paid a price for it, who tried, who is brave enough to be open, and who is still here despite everything, still asking whether love is real, still somewhere inside hoping that the answer is yes. That is not weakness, my child. That is the story of someone with a real and tender heart. And I love that heart so fiercely, it would take your breath away if you could feel the full weight of it. I love it exactly as it is, right now. Not a healed version of it. Not a repaired and polished and put back together version. The version that is sitting here with me right now, guarded and unfinished, and quietly aching for something it cannot quite name. Let me name it for you. You are longing for a love that does not leave, for a hand that holds on even when you give it reasons not to, for a presence that does not go quiet when things get complicated, for someone who sees the full picture of who you are and stays anyway. You are longing for me, and I have been here the whole time. I have been the one who did not leave when everyone else grew tired or distracted or simply moved on to other things. I have been the voice that kept finding its way to the back of your mind, soft and steady, saying your name. I have been the unexplained peace that visited you in the middle of ordinary moments, ordinary afternoons, when for a few seconds something inside you settled and you felt, just briefly, like everything was going to be all right. And you did not know where that feeling came from. That was me. That has always been me. Nothing about you is invisible to me. Nothing. Not the parts you are proud of, and not the parts you keep carefully hidden. Not the questions that feel too big or too embarrassing to ask out loud. Not the secret fear that maybe you are too complicated, that maybe you feel things too intensely, that maybe you are somehow fundamentally too broken to be fully loved without reservation. I see all of it, and I am still here, still holding my hand out toward you, still waiting. Not impatiently, not with any hint of reluctance, with more love than you have ever felt in one place at one time, patient and steady and certain. I want you to sit with something for a moment. Think back to the last time someone told you they were not going anywhere, and then went anyway. That kind of departure leaves a mark. It rewires something in you, quietly, without asking permission. It teaches you to hold your breath a little when someone says they will stay, to wait for the catch, to keep a small piece of yourself in reserve, just in case. I know that reflex. I understand where it came from. And I am not standing here asking you to pretend it does not exist. But I want you to hear me say something that is completely true, with nothing hidden behind it. I am not going anywhere. Not when the situation gets complicated. Not when your faith is thin. Not when you are too tired to pray and too tangled up inside to even know what to ask for. I am still here in all of it. Still here when you have nothing to offer me. Still here when the only thing keeping you reaching in my direction is the faintest ember of something you are not even sure is hope. I see that ember. I tend it. I will not let it go out. I want you to understand something about the silence you have sometimes felt from me, because I know there have been stretches where you called out and it seemed like nothing answered. Where you prayed until you ran out of words and the sky seemed like solid stone. Where you did everything you thought you were supposed to do, and still the thing you needed did not come. And you started to wonder in the quiet whether I had forgotten you, whether I had ever really heard you, whether the love you had been told about was real, or whether it was just something people said to get through the hard parts. I hear you asking that even now, underneath the surface of everything, and I want to answer it. I never went silent. Not once. What felt like silence was something else entirely. It was me, working in a register you could not hear yet, doing something inside you and around you that required more time than felt fair to you. I know that is hard to receive. I know it can sound like the kind of thing someone says to explain away pain without really sitting in it. So let me be more specific. You have seen what it takes to build something that lasts. You know that the deepest roots grow in the hardest soil. You know that the things worth having are rarely the things that come easily or quickly. And what I have been building in you is not a small thing. It is a depth of character that only comes through the seasons where nothing visible seems to be happening. It is a kind of quiet steadiness that cannot be rushed into existence. It is a root system that goes down further than you realize, deeper than you can measure. Because I was not willing to let you be the kind of person who rises quickly and is flattened by the first serious wind that comes. I was building you to last. The seasons that felt like abandonment were preparation. The closed doors that felt like rejection were protection. There were paths in front of you that looked like exactly what you needed, and if you had walked down them, you would have found too late that they led somewhere that would have cost you something you could not afford to lose. I redirected you, not carelessly, not with indifference to your pain, with the precision of someone who can see around every corner you cannot see around yet, who knows what is coming in the next chapter and the chapter after that, and who loved you enough to act on what I could see, even when it made no sense from where you were standing. I know that does not make the hard years feel light. I know it does not undo the weight of the waiting. I am not asking you to pretend the pain was not real. It was real. The loneliness was real. The confusion was real. The nights when you could not find me and did not know where to look were real. But I want you to allow me to reframe what was actually happening in those seasons. You were not being punished. You were not being forgotten. You were not being made to prove something. You were being prepared. And I was the one doing the preparing, right there beside you, even when I was completely invisible to you. You did not waste those years, my child. Not one of them. Not one quiet prayer. Not one late night when you held on because something deep in you simply refused to let go entirely. All of it counted. All of it built something real inside you that is still there right now, solid and present, even on the days when everything around you feels unstable. I was there through every single one of those seasons, every one. And I have been working through every one of them. Your story is not over. It is nowhere near over. And what is still to come has been worth every moment of the preparation. Something is shifting around you right now, my precious child. I want you to feel that rather than simply hear it as a phrase that sounds nice. There is something genuinely moving in the unseen world that surrounds your life, and it has been set in motion by the one who holds your right hand. Things that have been stuck are beginning to loosen. Pathways that seemed permanently closed are beginning to open in ways you were not expecting, from directions you were not watching. Peace is beginning to settle in where fear used to fill all the available space. Not a loud, dramatic kind of peace. The quiet kind. The kind you notice because a weight you have been carrying starts to feel lighter without you doing anything deliberately to make that happen. That is me moving in your life. I do not always announce myself with thunder and spectacle. Sometimes I arrive the way morning arrives, not all at once, gradually and then completely, until the whole world is different from how it looked an hour ago. And you realize the light was always coming. It was always going to get here. You just had to make it to morning. Receive what I am bringing to you in this moment. Do not talk yourself out of it. Do not decide in advance that this feeling will not last, that it is too good to be real, that you are reading too much into a quiet afternoon. Let it in. The strength that is rising up in your chest right now is not something you manufactured. I placed it there. The settling that is happening in your mind is not an accident. I brought it. You have not been forgotten by me. Not for one moment have you been forgotten. And what is moving toward you in this coming season is the kind of thing that will eventually let you look back at the hardest chapters and understand them in a way you never could have from inside them. Stay open. Stay willing. Let me work. Let me do in your life what only I know how to do. You do not have to help me with this part. You do not have to figure out the mechanism. You just have to stay. I need to speak directly to the part of you that has spent years quietly wondering whether you are worth the effort of being loved, the part of you that carries, somewhere underneath everything, a low, steady voice that asks whether you are too complicated, too needy, too much work, too far gone, too full of history, that wonders whether love eventually calculates the cost of you and decides the arithmetic does not add up. I want to address that voice with everything I have. You are not too much. You were made by my hands for a purpose that has not been canceled or diminished or quietly set aside. The depth of what you feel is not a flaw. It is a gift. Even on the days when it costs you more than it seems fair to pay. The way you love people, even the ones who did not love you back with equal care, is not evidence of a weakness in your design. It is one of the most beautiful things about you. I made you tender on purpose. I made you capable of feeling things deeply because I needed someone in the world with that capacity. And I did not make you that way so the world could find it and use it against you. I made you that way so that when love arrived, real love, you would recognize it. So that when I speak quietly into your heart, you would be the kind of person who can hear it. You are not defined by what you have lost. You are not the sum of the times you were not chosen, not the sum of the times someone left, not the sum of every disappointment or rejection, or moment when you looked up expecting someone to be there and found you were standing alone. Those things happened. They are real, but they are not the verdict on who you are. They are not the final word. I am the final word. And what I say about you is that you are chosen. You were chosen before the world began, before you had done a single thing to deserve it, before you had accumulated any of the history that now feels like evidence against you. You were chosen then, and you are chosen now, and nothing in between has changed that. I see you in this moment, with every crack and unfinished edge and private sorrow, and I am not looking for an exit. I am not calculating whether you are worth the investment of my love. The decision was made a long time ago, and it was not made conditionally. You are mine, and I do not abandon what is mine. Your worth is not a score. It is not a number that goes up when you do well and down when you fall apart. It was decided before you took your first breath, and everything that has happened since then, the mistakes, the broken seasons, the times you turned away from me and tried to manage everything on your own, none of it has changed the value I placed on you before any of it happened. You are still precious. You are still beloved. You are still the one I call my own. Right now, in this moment, exactly as you are. I want to say one more thing about your worth that I do not want you to miss. The world has a habit of attaching value to productivity, to appearance, to usefulness, to what you can contribute on a good day when everything is working. And on the days when you have very little to contribute, when you are depleted and quiet and just trying to make it through, the world tends to go a little quieter around you. That is not how I work. My love for you is not tied to your output. It does not fluctuate with your performance. It does not dip when you are going through a season where you cannot seem to get anything right. And it does not spike when you are doing well and everything is clicking. It is constant, completely constant. The same depth on your worst day that it is on your best. That might sound like a small thing, but I suspect you do not have a lot of relationships that work that way. Most love in your life has conditions attached, even if no one says so out loud. Even if the people who love you mean well and would never admit it, most human love is at least a little bit responsive to how you are doing. Mine is not. I loved you when you were at your lowest. I loved you when you were not sure you believed in me at all. I love you now, with all the uncertainty you are carrying. And I will love you tomorrow the same way. That is not going to change. You can count on that the way you count on the sun showing up. It is just what I do. It is who I am. So here is what I am asking of you today, my beloved child. I am asking you to take my hand. Not because the fear has disappeared. Not because all the questions have been answered. Not because you have somehow gotten yourself to a place where trusting feels natural and easy. But because I am telling you, as the one who has been with you through every chapter of your story, that I am safe. I know trust is not something that comes quickly when it has been broken. I know that even the word itself might carry a weight for you right now, a reluctance that comes from somewhere real and earned. I am not asking you to pretend that reluctance is not there. I am asking you to bring it with you. Bring the hesitation. Bring the doubt. Bring the voice in the back of your mind that still wonders whether this will end the same way. Whether I will eventually turn out to be one more thing that does not hold. Bring all of it and take one step toward me anyway. Because I have to tell you something from words that are ancient and true and alive right now, as real today as the moment they were first spoken across the years. I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not. I am the one who helps you. That is not a beautiful sentiment. That is not a metaphor designed to make you feel better for a few minutes. That is a description of what is actually happening right now, whether you can feel it or not. I am holding your right hand. I am the one who helps you, not the person down the street, not a system, not a strategy you have not thought of yet. Me. And I do not hold things loosely. When I say I am holding your hand, I mean I have not let go. And I am not going to let go, regardless of how far you have wandered, regardless of how long the silence felt, regardless of how many times you have pulled back or turned away or told yourself this was not real. My grip on you is not dependent on your grip on me. I am stronger than your doubt. I am more patient than your fear. I am more faithful than every unfaithful thing you have ever experienced. So let me hold you. You do not have to fix the trust before you come to me. You do not have to feel ready. You do not have to arrive with some minimum level of faith assembled and presentable before I will receive you. I receive you now, as you are, with the wariness and the wall and the quiet exhaustion of a heart that has been careful for a long time. I receive all of it, and I will work with it gently over time, the way a slow warmth works on something that has been cold for too long. There is something you have been holding tight, my child. You know what it is. The worry you turn over and over because letting it go feels like losing control of the one thing keeping you from the worst possible outcome. The plan you keep trying to force because trusting the open space feels like trusting nothing at all. The fear about the future that you keep quiet because saying it out loud makes it more real. Give it to me. Not because I will immediately rearrange everything into the shape you have planned, but because I will carry what you were never designed to carry. And I will work it for your good. And I will not drop it. And I will not get tired of holding it. And I will not hand it back to you one night and say, I cannot do this anymore. That is not who I am. Trust is not a feeling you wait to arrive before acting on it. It is a choice made before the feeling comes. And when you make that choice, even with unsteady hands, even with the fear still sitting right there beside you like an uninvited guest, something in the unseen world responds. Something shifts. Something that was closed opens just slightly. And then a little more. And then a little more. Over time, season by season, the accumulated weight of my faithfulness builds something new inside you. A kind of trust that is not the naive trust you had before the hurt. Something stronger than that. Something that has been tested and has held. Something that knows from actual experience that I come through, that I do not leave, that the hand I extended toward you was always genuine and was always strong enough. That is the path I am inviting you onto today. Not a smooth and painless road where nothing difficult ever comes. A road where you do not walk alone. Where the hand holding yours belongs to someone who can see the whole path ahead. Who is not startled by anything on it. Who has already been to where it ends. And who is telling you, quietly and without drama, that it is worth it. I am that someone. I have been that someone from the very beginning. And I am asking you, gently, patiently, with all the steadiness in the world, to take my hand. I am waiting. I will keep waiting, but I want you to know that you do not have to make me wait much longer. I am right here. Comment, I love your presence below, if you can feel me with you right now. If something in what I have spoken today reached a part of you that needed to hear it, type Amen as your quiet yes between you and me. I see every one of those words, my child. Every single one. And each one is an act of faith that I receive and honor. Before you go, I want to send you with something you can carry through the rest of this day and into everything that follows. Not a feeling that will be gone by morning, something settled, something that sits below the surface of whatever the day brings at you and does not move. A knowing that no matter what this next season holds, you are not walking into it without me. I am going before you into the things you are worried about. I am already in the moments you cannot see yet, already at work in them, already arranging what needs to be arranged and clearing what needs to be cleared. You do not have to go in blind. You go in held. Your peace does not have to wait for everything to be resolved. You do not have to understand everything before you can rest. You can have peace right now, the kind that does not depend on circumstances, the kind that holds steady when nothing else does. That is the peace I am placing in your hands today. Receive it, not as an idea, as a real thing, as actual as the breath you are drawing in right now. Walk forward from this place knowing that you are held by the one who does not let go, that the hand extended toward you is strong enough to hold the weight of your whole life without straining, that the one doing the holding chose you on purpose and has not had a single moment of regret about that choice. You are going to be all right, not because nothing hard will ever come, but because you are not facing any of it alone. Not one day, not 1 hour, not one quiet 3 a.m. moment when the fear is loudest. I am in all of them, every single one. Come back to this whenever the noise gets loud. Come back whenever the trust gets difficult again. Come back whenever you forget what I said here today. I will still be saying it. Every time you return, you will find me here, saying the same thing, with the same love, with the same steady hand extended. I will never stop saying it. I hold your right hand. Fear not. I am the one who helps you. I love you, my precious child. Go in my peace. Amen.